All right, greetings, everyone. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you hit that button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. Also, please visit dynastamir.com. Again, please visit dynastamir.com. What else do we have here? Tour Nigeria. We are rolling to Nigeria in August, August 8th through the 17th. August 8th through the 17th. So if you're interested in traveling to Nigeria with us, we will love to have you for the Oshun Festival. Again, August 8th to the 17th. Again, August 8th to the 17th. Then Sierra Leone, November 20th through December 3rd. November 20th through December 3rd. We are rolling to Sierra Leone again, November 20th through December 3rd. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. Again, citizenship is available to those who qualify. We will love to have you. Again, we will love to have you come and join us. Let's see, we got anything else? Oh, I was supposed to release the trailer for the documentary today. Sorry, I'll do it tomorrow. It's right here. Got to get to it. I apologize. It will get done. Without further ado, we got brother Kyle Genesis with us today. And today's topic, and me and Kyle have talked about this. You know, we dealt with white terrorism here in America, white racism here in America. But then once black people had thought they kind of made hedgeway against that, and that had calmed down. Here came Pookie and Ray Ray. Then you have Black Flight. Then if you notice, Kala, like all of the places, the good communities with the good schools, these are the so-called Republican areas. So you got black people crying about racism, then they go move with the so-called racist Republicans to get away from Pookie and Ray Ray in a Democratic stronghold. But then they cry and complain about racism. But then it's like, okay, well, move back. Why'd you leave Pookie and Ray Ray in the city, the Democratic ran city? They got every excuse for it.
Yeah,
They got every
we're Black America. Like I said, I can speak as a African American, Black American, right? Because I am one, right? And people will criticize the show and be like, "Well, look, this is what these shows are good for, right? Not sit around blow smoke up your ass, but basically talking about the things that need to be talked about. Hopefully, we can change people's minds and things will change, right? But not sitting around being honest with ourselves, right? And honest with ourselves. We have a real serious problem in Black America with violence, crime, and just the overall, just a cold core culture of disrespect. In
Hey,
2007,
Kyla, if I can interject, just last night, Kroger here in the Atlanta area, 16-year-old girl shot and killed.
yeah, it doesn't surprise. Bottom line, it's right there. What you just said, right? People will say that. Oh yeah, 16. Do you understand what he just said? A 16-year-old girl killed in a Kroger, right? And we accept this as normal. We accept this as passing and normal. No other group of people would tolerate this in their communities. We basically are Black America is unhinged right now. We're lashing out, and since we know we can't lash out at white America, we lash out at each other, right? Now, the topic of tonight is the Klan and Pook versus Pookie and Ray Ray, right? You got to say something, Dynasty, right? When you're powerless, right? It does not matter where your terrorists come from. You can rest assured one thing: terror and violence and intimidation is going to be there. So no matter where you go, this is why people, right, before they set up any civilization, right, they have to make sure they have what? Sovereignty over the people that's going to be in that civilization and protection for people who are not part of that civilization. That's the whole basis of having a society. We have always called ourselves Black America. We're Black America, but we have things that other people don't have. We don't have reward and punishment. There's a 99% of Black people, right? 99% of Black people work for white America or another non-Black people, right? So the thugs in our community, right, are knowing that since no Black person is cutting their paycheck, right? No black person is giving them anything, so they don't have to be holding that. I said this on the last show. I said what kept black people together for generations was black love. Now, now we have basically decided that we don't want black love anymore, right? So there's nothing holding us together. Black people, black men don't feel responsibility to marry black women. Black women are holding out for the perfect black man. We're telling everybody, do your own thing. If you want to sell drugs, go right ahead. If you want interracial marriage, go right ahead. So there's nothing holding the community together. Used to be a time Marcus Garvey once said, he said, one thing you give about the Klan, it forces black people to be with each other and to rely on each other. That was the truth. Because we had the Klan terrorizing us and the white supremacists terrorizing us, right? We decided to make these all black enclaves work. There was some sort of structure there. Now, when the Klan subsided, right, we were able to move where we want to move. Black people moved out. So there's nothing left in the community. There's no structure. There's no hierarchy. There's no role models. There's no sense of community anymore. So therefore, there's nothing to basically hold people accountable for their behavior. And this is what we have in Black America right now. We don't have any sort of structure saying it's like volunteerism. If you could, and I always see these people, right? And what gets me is I hear like so-called black militants, right? They're always talking about, oh yeah, we got to deal with the Klan. Well, if you want to really impress me, why don't you roll up on and make some of these cities in our community straight, disarm some of these little thugs in the community, make that safe. But Joe, no, you going to Stone Mountain, Georgia, confronting a non-existent enemy, the Klan, whatever, in large numbers. You going down there? You got to show up for. We're gonna march on City Hall. What you need to be doing is marching on the Trap House and all the other stuff. You know, like Detroit 300.
Hey, that's the next show, Kyla. No, instead of marching on City Hall, march on the Trap House.
Or march on the Trap Houses, right? But the thing is, though, right? Black people, and the bottom line is this past election yesterday showed you, right, that despite all the stuff on social media, despite all the stuff you talk about on social media and everything like that, Black America is not buying it. They did not believe you people are serious about any sort of liberation or anything. They just took the safe bet, Jim Clyburn, over this guy that was running around talking about white supremacy, reparations, and now illegal immigrants, black immigrants. Well, I don't know why he did that. And so therefore, there's no black person in their right mind, right, believes that the Ku Klux Klan, the Proud Boys, or even MAGA has any threat to them. The black people who do that are basically the type of black people who believe in that stuff like that. These are diehard Democrats, right? They're diehard Democrats. These are people who basically who love going into white circles. And these are the type of black people who want white people who want to be comfortable in white circles. And the MAGA sort of energy sort of intimidates them. The average black person, right, who basically knows they got to go in a white circle just to wear, but they spend most of the time around black people and do a thing with black people, are not thinking about MAGA. They're not thinking about the Proud Boys. They're not thinking about the Klan. What they are thinking about is pulling up to a gas station at any given time, right? And Boomquisha's baby father, number 1 and 2, meet up there and everything, and shots rang out. That all right now in Black America, right?
Hey, Kyla, real quick. Let me play this video real quick.
Right.
And guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button again, please. Hit the like button as well, and we'll address the is black on black crimes in Africa as well. We'll address that. Hold on. Let me hold on 1 second. All right, never mind. Let me never mind. The video's not playing, but go ahead, Colin.
Okay, so what we have in Black America right now is terror from within. But Black America has Stockholm syndrome, right? In our culture and discourse, right? We don't want to deal with the problems.
Hold on, Colin. This is the young lady that got killed.
Sad. She was only 16, but she looked kind of grown, don't she?
16 years old.
Yeah, sad. They look kind of grown. What they say it was over, you know?
There a dispute. Let's see here. A dispute outside of Kroger and DeKalb left. A dispute outside of Kroger and DeKalb County left 16-year-old girl dead Sunday night when gunfire erupted. Police said DeKalb police were called to investigate The shooting at the Kroger shopping center on Flat Shoals Parkway off Flakes Mill Road. Investigators believe the shots were fired in the parking lot when two groups got into a dispute. Dashia Hall, 16, was killed and a 17-year-old boy was seriously injured, according to DeKalb police spokesman officer Elise Wells. The boy remains in critical condition Tuesday. Hall was a member of the Miss D's Dancing Dolls, a competitive dance team with a studio on Stone Mountain founded by Coach Deanna Williams. The troupe was featured on the Bring It Lifetime television series that aired between 2015 and 2018. Williams confirmed Hall's death in a Facebook post.
Was he involved in the incident? Did they say that?
I don't know. Let's see here. No suspects have been identified in Hall's death, but police on Monday released surveillance photos of two men that appear to have been taken inside the store. They are considered persons of interest and are wanted for questioning. Investigators believe the feuding groups were in two vehicles, Wells said. One of the vehicles, a white sedan, was seen leaving the shopping center and heading south on Flakes Mill Road, she said.
There you go. There you go. Social media, people feuding and arguing and stuff like this. There's no cool off. There's no intervention in the community.
Well, hold on. 1 second. Let me finish reading this. According to Wells, family members of one of the teenage victims may have been involved in a shooting later Sunday outside of Grady Memorial Hospital. Oh, shoot. Okay, hold on, Colin. Hold on.
So that was before that. That was before that.
No. It says victims may have been. Yeah, so this shooting at Kroger was before that, but there was a shooting at Grady Hospital where somebody got killed on Sunday. Hold on, Colin. So it's the same people. Hold on. Shooting. Hold on. Grady Hospital. Oh, here we go right here, Colin. Here we go. Hold on.
Right.
Family dispute outside Grady Hospital connected to deadly Kroger shooting.
A deadly shooting outside Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta. We're learning more about what led to that shooting around 11 o'clock last night. CBS 46's Adam Murphy is live outside the emergency room where that shooting happened. Adam, this all started in DeKalb County.
It certainly did, Tracy. This is a case of one shooting leading to another. Both gunmen, though, are not connected. And the last of the shootings happened right here outside the emergency room at Grady Memorial Hospital.
This was not an active shooter.
Atlanta police responded to a chaotic scene outside Grady Memorial Hospital Sunday night.
We had multiple shooters. We know that two of the shooters did flee on scene, and we're also looking for the third shooter.
It all began in DeKalb County. Police said a 16-year-old girl was shot and killed in a Kroger parking lot on Flat Shoals Parkway around 7:30. Police are looking for these two persons of interest. Then, about 4 hours after the first shooting in DeKalb County, family of the 16-year-old victim got into an altercation amongst themselves outside the emergency room at Grady in Atlanta.
There was a dispute that then escalated to gunfire. Right now, we have one victim confirmed deceased. Another one is in critical condition.
Investigators are now looking for multiple suspects involved in both shootings.
Right now, family is being cooperative, providing some information.
And police tell me they are still looking for the shooters that are involved in this incident here at Grady, as well as the shooting at the Kroger in DeKalb County. It's important again to mention they don't believe that the shooters are connected at all. It just so happens that the victim in the first one, their family members of that victim, were involved in the second shooting out here outside the hospital. We'll stay on top of developments. We're live outside Grady in Atlanta. Adam Murphy.
Hey, Colin, you're muted, Colin, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Let me ask you a question, Diane. Do you think reparations is going to solve all this? You know, you think cut the check is going to solve all this? You know, now you see why your boy lost. Black people, like I said, they're not on the majority of black people are not on social media, right? They're not on Twitter and everything like that, right? But they basically, you speak to them or off.
Oh, hold on, Colin. I wonder if they're immigrant tethers. You know, let's you know.
Immigrant tethers.
The immigrant tethers.
These are all Nigerians doing all this. These are all Ghanaians, that just came off the boat. These aren't African Americans, We're great. They're coming over here ruining us and everything. And so, like I said, the whole ADOS FBA was garbage online and everything. It has no political power. The new black media is a joke. It's a joke. It's been proven that it has no effect whatsoever because these guys that basically are leading Black America down the primrose path have no really fortitude or fight in them. The whole thing is this, right? We could talk about white supremacy, white race soldiers, and all this kind of stuff. And there's a lot of bad police out there. I get that, right? But when you really look at it, right, you're not being hunted by the white supremacists anymore. You're not being hunted by the police. And this is what another thing, what I'm saying, and I don't want this creeping into the Pan-African culture, right? People, there's a black lady in South Africa, right?
Hey, Kala, your boy Trey Hampton says most crimes stem from economic deprivation and frustration.
That's another thing I was just gonna say before he said that, right? I wanted to ask you now at the cab, right? I look outside. There's a Kroger. In order for you to have a Kroger, it's pretty much a middle income area, isn't that?
Yeah. You can't. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
So what?
It's not a food desert. It's not a food desert.
Check this out. So what exactly are the people in DeKalb lacking that makes them act like this? Most crime. So people that you saw the white car they was driving. That's a late model car.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they got money. They don't like they're starving or whatever. They got car. They got insurance and everything like that. And everything, but they still are acting a fool and acting like wild animal savages, So the whole thing is this. So the idea that money is going to fix Black America's problem, no. The problem is, as we saw in the show last night, right? Black people simply don't want to be black. They want to be everything but black people and everything. And when they see other black people, it reminds them of how much they hate themselves. Well, like two dogs. You ever see two dogs, right? Don't know each other. You put them together, they start fighting. That's black people. That's because we're not civilized and everything, and we have never come to grips with who we are, what the situation is in America, and we never like that. We at one time did try to love ourselves and everything, but that's no more. And so therefore now, by default, black people usually have to live by other black people because anytime you have an area and black people start moving in, white people move out, so it becomes majority black. So you guys keep chasing white people. You chase white people in Birmingham, Alabama. You took over DeSoto, Texas, and everything. Oh, black people move out here. White people move out. White people say, okay, we see DeSoto is getting darker, so let's get the hell out of here. So they move out and everything. So we move around the thing. And then instead of saying, something, we got a fresh start, like Compton. We got a nice suburb out here. Let's make this happen, everything. What did Compton turn into? A war zone. A war zone. People killing each other. People terrorizing each other. I looked at watched this documentary on the Bloods, why the Bloods came up, right? They said the Crips were bullying us. The Crips were shooting at us and everything. So we formed the Bloods to protect ourselves from the Crips. Now, if I'm not wrong, I think the Crips are also black. The Crips aren't Mexicans. They're not blonde, blue-eyed Aryan nations. They're other black people. And when you talk about in this talk right here, black people don't want to hear it. I buried three cousins of mine. Didn't make it to their 30th birthday through gun violence and murder. Okay, three cousins, three of my first cousins didn't make it to their 30th birthday. I wonder what they were doing right now if some nigga didn't pull out a gun and end their lives, And so the bottom line is this. So miss me with that. Oh well, this is so. When anybody starts talking about white supremacy and all stuff like this, I don't buy it because the biggest threat to Black America is right now inside of Black America. They said, well, the police put the guns in the community. No, guns aren't the problem, right? Guns are a problem, I get that. But black people and our self-hate and our toxic behavior is the problem. We listen to toxic music. If you listen to music all day, it was kill this person, kill, murder, kill. I don't give a shit about life. And that's your attitude. That's what goes into your soul, right? You're going to act on it. And matter of fact, what's more dangerous is if you believe everybody around you thinks like that, you're going to react to it like that. So a lot of people are walking around with guns on the edge, like I'm just waiting for any second for the ops to come in. We say the ops to come and get me. So you have all this going on, right? In real life, everything. The ops are gonna get me. You're like, who are the ops? It's a brother, sister that look just like you, come from the same impoverished circumstances and everything, who's trying to make it. and you see each other as enemies, and you try to kill each other. So miss me with this, oh, we got to fight racism, white supremacy, and all this kind of nonsense. Because if that was the case, right, you would see this going on among Nigerian immigrants, you would see it going on among Ghanaian immigrants, and you just don't see that. Would you see what you see the African immigrants? Their kids going to school, their kids taking education seriously, their kids basically getting into different activities in school and doing right. But when you see these so-called African Americans and everything,
Hey, Colin, address the where they kill each other in other communities and they kill each other in Africa as well. Like,
well, first of all, they don't have guns like that in Africa, right? And like I said, in Africa, right, you don't see the murder rate. When somebody gets murdered, right, in Africa, it's a big deal. You know, I remember there was somebody murdered, a guy killed his girlfriend in Liberia a month ago, right? And it's like all everybody's talking about. Oh, he murdered his girlfriend. Oh, we gotta get justice. He gonna do 50 years and everything. You just mentioned a 16-year-old girl getting shot outside of Kroger. What does the comments look like? But nobody cares. Did you see any RIPs or anything? No.
A couple. I think it was a couple.
A couple, right? But when you see something like this happen in Africa, right? It's like national news. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. There's gonna be justice and everything. We have lost all our sense of humanity. We have lost every sense of all the instincts that thing because we have never, as Black people, became fully human beings. You cannot be a full human being inside of a system that systematically tells you that its whole basis of you being here was they can do it and that you're an animal and everything. And that's what we inherited as Black Americans. We inherited the worst sort of situation in human history where our humanity was taken from us and everything. And instead of dealing with that, right, we're figuring out how to be better Americans. You know, every time we look around, oh, we got to make America great. We got to become Americans. We got to fix racism. Fix racism. Racism's not going to go anyplace because it's by default. When your ancestors came here in slave ships, right? You worked for them for hundreds of years. They did, and then after slavery, they tore your communities up. They lynched you, everything like that, and you never once retaliated. You never once said, you know something. Even when America was in trouble during the Cold War, right? We could have said, you know something. We're going to side with the Russians. Imagine if Black people would have polled at 90%. We side with Khrushchev and Fidel Castro. No, we are loyal to the same people that are present. So what that tells to other people is these people aren't human like we are. You know, we can do whatever we want to them and everything. And now that sort of mentality where they thought we were nothing, right, is now affecting us, ourselves. Now we believe that we ain't shit. We believe Black life don't matter. We believe Black people can be killed and it doesn't matter. We believe that we can watch Black people get killed on a daily basis and feel nothing about it because that's what it is. We have never said, how could this happen? Well, if you don't believe this, right, that's because you believe in the American exceptionalism. Just because you live inside the borders of the United States does not make you an American. America is where you see the white people live. You know, they live, how the police treat them, right? How the city council works for them. How businessmen, when cities go around the world saying, yeah, we want to build this and build this. I remember I was watching this thing in Utah during the Bush administration where they were trying to bid this military town was trying to bid on building a helicopter, a couple of 6 helicopters, right? Attack helicopter, whatever, right? A $10 billion bid. They were bidding with other white towns in there, right? And I remember the town hall, the whole town was in this one hangar, right? And they're all holding hands, right? So the next contract, right? And then they will announce, right? The whole place erupted. Why? Because they know $10 billion were going to be infused into their local economy, jobs, everything. It's going to change everything. They say, yes, we made it. We got the contract. They're going to build. It's going to be jobs, everything like that, right? There were some other cities that Lockheed Martin, whatever it is, said, this is the town we're going to do. They won, right? In Black America, there's no such thing. There's nobody bringing a contract to a Black community that put his bid. We got this many engineers, this, that, and the other. There's no such thing that exists in Black America. None whatsoever. We live off the excess and the scraps of white America. We are tethered to white America. Now, there's probably some black people that went out there to get some, maybe get an engineering job and get probably racist. White people give them the initiation. They'll see nigger on their locker or see a hangman's noose. You see that all the time, But black people got to go to white people to get the good jobs, So that's what it is. We say we want black pride and independence, but everything we do is we know where the real money is. We got to go to them, right? We got to go to them. Why? Because two things, right? There's nothing in our community but hell on earth, death, destruction, poverty, ignorance, and all this kind of nonsense and everything. And so we got to go to the white community, right, to make our lives better. That's the truth. Now the Pan-African.
Hey, Colin, when do you want to bring on? We got a couple callers in the queue.
Okay, we're a half hour in, so go ahead, let's bring them in.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Marcus.
What's up, guys? It's a really interesting conversation, and
always.
The last conversation we had that was on the show, I've kind of reconfigured some things and thought about some things that were said. And first of all, you have a good point about Black America being overall dysfunctional. I have this conversation with my own family members all the time, and that is something that cannot really be fixed per se. I feel like what's happening right now is Black America is in the point of being sort of liquidated. Like when a business goes out of, you go out of business, right? All the assets get liquidated because business is no longer functional. It's no longer, so all the assets get sold off, they get liquidated, everything has to go, right? And that's exactly what's occurring to Black America, is we're no longer a functional society. And so we're being liquidated through various means, right? We're losing our wealth. We're losing, decency. We're losing various different things. And so we're basically being liquidated. It's like going out of business, and so, but the good news is this: once that does occur, then you can sort of rebuild from that. Once people have gotten like to the absolute bottom, right? Once we've reached the absolute bottom, that's the point at which you can start to rebuild. But
let me ask you a question, Marcus. Do you think we should rebuild here, or we should take our business someplace else? Because I really do believe, like Malcolm X said, any sort of movement for the liberation of Black people or Black African people based solely in the United States is absolutely doomed to fail. Man, he was prophetic about that.
Yeah.
So should we basically? I know a lot of people say, "Oh man, I don't think." Look, collectively, the collective Black America, right? I don't feel that Black America collectively is only. Now, individually, Black people may move off into a white suburb, whatever like that, and just be an individual. Just be an individual. I believe that can happen. But Black America, for a fact, that luxury of individuality is not afforded to us. We're still going to be basically judged by what happens as the group. Mm-hmm. So as long as there's crime, and also it's not just the inner city. This is the Cape County. That's not the inner city, right? It's happening all over Black America. So nowhere you live with any significant Black population are you going to be safe from the degradation. And what this does is this. When kids come up, like one thing, we're grown and everything, but kids grow up believing that they're thugs, they're criminals, and society sees them like that. You see more and more incidents where kids are just playing basketball. I seen one where kids are walking back from a basketball court, and the cops roll up on with guns drawn. That was in Michigan a couple of years ago. You remember that? And remember that? Mm-hmm. So the bottom line is, so therefore those kids feel powerless. They feel useless. They're gonna be angry. And a lot of times what happens is they're not going to basically lash out at white people because they can't do that. They're powerless. They basically are going to take and lash out at us, and they're going to lash out at each other. So basically, like I said, America is nothing but a death sentence to the Black race in America. This
is if I might interject. I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
go ahead.
The thing is that I believe that we can do both. And this is both.
I agree with that.
And this is this is my perspective, is what we can do and what will, I think, benefit us more so than anything else is establishing a black supply chain with the Caribbean and Africa.
Yeah, we
Okay.
need African. We need a territory on the African
A
continent. We need
supply.
state towns, and with our industrial zones, our import, export, everything. We need
Right.
we need to become global. We can't basically like this. If we tell the world that we're building in Africa and everything, so therefore, and let me say this, Marcus. Let me say this, brother. The idea. This is what I'm presenting tonight to you is a dire situation that we're in. Right. When someone comes to you and tells you that we're going to get reparations, they're not serious with you. They're playing games. Black America is so dire right now. What you just said, a supply chain and being global, that's the way forward. And when people start coming to you with some Mickey Mouse, or we're going to fight for reparations and everything, you see what happened in South Carolina. Black people ain't buying it because we know our situation is real. This is real here in America, right? We're at the bottom. Like I said, we're bottoming out. We're liquidating. We're just going out of this. Black America is going out. It's falling apart. Every instance, our marriages, our relationships, with each other, everything is falling apart. Nothing is working right now, functional in Black America. So therefore, this idea that money, or you're going to spend all our political capital fighting for some check, whatever. Well, we could basically say, you know something, we'll call it. So the whole thing is this: Black people are afraid to offend after everything, right? They're afraid to basically divorce or part ways with America. Instead of saying, you know something, there's nothing wrong with me. I always said this a long time when I was a kid.
Well, that's the thing. We don't have to divorce necessarily.
No. I'm saying divorce.
What I'm saying is that did the Jews ever divorce themselves from America? No, they still have Israel.
What I'm saying is this, though, right?
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying with Jews, right? Jews have institutions in America, right? And they're only like a small, tiny percent, in America. Black America's problem is we have 45 million of us. Okay, 45 million. I would say like half and half. Literally half and half. I want there to be prosperous Black communities, right, in America. I want that to always be. I want us to be, like that. But at the same time, right? How can you give me an example of how we can do this, right? Right? How we look at Gary, Indiana. The powers that be, the McKinsey Group and all that decided we don't.
This is how
we don't have the power. Hold up.
Well, look, he's gonna answer. You gotta let him answer now.
Okay.
Go ahead,
yeah.
Mark.
So this is my idea, right? So one of the biggest things that we could do, right? Like the single biggest thing we could do actually is start like there could be like someone could start like a black Costco, right? Like just like this clearinghouse, a warehouse where you could shop and like import, and you get all these imported goods from Africa and at a lower price, right? And so what I'm saying is that when you create these retail sort of like synergies and economies, that creates a larger economy. Like that creates you have like your trucking businesses that supply it. You have the people with the what's that called, because at a Costco they have like wheel shops, they have mechanics there, they have mechanics there working on cars, they have all these different components all attached to one store. If we're able to get all that stuff all in one store and put that into Black communities, that would be something that could revitalize.
Let me ask you a question, Marcus, right?
Yeah.
What do you define as a
and then after that I'm gonna bring somebody else on. But
okay,
go ahead,
Marcus, what do you define as this? The whole thing is this. What you're saying could have worked in 1960. That could have worked. That's what Malcolm X said. Let's build whatever. But now Black people associate. Majority of Black people don't live in Black communities. Now the only community we have is online, right? And
a lot of Black communities live in food deserts, so I'm basically giving away a business opportunity, right? What I'm basically saying is this is a business opportunity to place stores within Black communities.
Let me ask you a question.
What's
that do with Winston, whatever his name is, Dynast? Winston, the heavyset guy that was on that when they threw off the bus and get on the bus with Spike Lee. Remember? What was that? Nigga. Remember what Winston right, in New Orleans? He opened what you said, right? A grocery
Oh yeah,
store.
he opened a grocery store in New Orleans. That's right. Yeah.
It flopped, right? Because first of all, groceries, right? When you talk about groceries, right? Because I worked in a grocery store and stuff like that years ago, right? That supply chain is global, right? Kroger, the reason why Kroger is able to do that, right? Because they got suppliers lined up all over the world, and also black people, right? And you go to Kroger, right? Kroger's no joke. You got your food there, everything like that. You got people. This is how it is, brother. And this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring Black Lion on.
White people have get all our money, right? And they estimate, okay, we got. They don't look at money, right? They have markets, right? They have markets. Now, if you was able to take over and buy a city like Gary, Indiana, I would believe you, right? Because he's like, and then basically from top to down, we're gonna make it a safe place and everything. And then you bring businesses and everything to employ the people. We haven't done that. We don't want to do that. We basically you look at Atlanta right now and everything. Black Atlanta is dependent on the white tax base to survive. That's what it is, right? Black people don't want to shop in black-owned thing. Where our mentality is, if I got money, I'm gonna spend it. They want to spend their money in Food Lion, Kroger, and stuff like this. Kroger and all these people know that. They know that, yeah, they'll let you have your little mom and pop grocery store here and everything, but that's like the majority of money is going to go there. Majority of black people. First thing, majority.
Hey, let me bring Black Lion. Go ahead, Black Lion.
No, let them finish. It's fine.
Carlo, let me just say one more thing, and I'll let you finish it out.
I appreciate your energy
with the thought.
I appreciate your energy.
But yeah, of course. I will say this is that, okay, so, all right, so the supply chain idea, right, and I forgot what I was gonna say. I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, I get we get where you're coming from, brother. But like I said, let me say something, right? People like that had that idea. You're not the first one. People have been trying to do that for a long time. Am I right, Diane? They tried to do that and everything like that. And I told a story to my friend today, my boy Nye today. I know he's not gonna listen to live. He said he'll listen to later, but he's probably laughing right now if he is listening to live, right? Because we talked about this today. In Emporia, Virginia, right? I remember when I first started selling insurance back in 2008, right? I went to Emporia. That was a black city back in the days and everything like that. I looked at the history of Emporia and said, yeah, one time this place was jumping, right? Well, anyway, I was driving through one of the back streets of Emporia, Virginia, right? And I stumbled on this abandoned warehouse, right? And on the side of the building was a giant mural, right? It was from the 70s. You could tell from the 70s. It said Ujama, First Fruits and everything, warehouse, right? It had a painting of little black children with the girls with the garb on, brothers with the kente cloth on, and they were carrying fruits and everything. So that must have been like a black economic project back then. And I said to myself, I wonder what to say. I want to go to Emporia and find out like that. But I can only speculate that whatever it was, right? It was based on socialism. We're going to socialize.
Sorry, I just remembered what I was going to say. I just remembered what I was going to say. Sorry. So yeah, I have a group. Basically, I started a group of black software engineers. I'm a software engineer, and I saw a tremendous demand for the need for black people to come together in these little online groups and to support each other. Right. My group now has like 20 members, and I've just started maybe like a week ago. So the growth has been phenomenal, and it's growing every day. The thing is, it's a Discord group, right? And so I feel that maybe we could take this idea of black people coming together and organizing to the internet. You're already sort of doing it with the show and a lot of what you guys are already doing. We could do little, this is a business opportunity too. It's a business opportunity to start these little groups, these little online groups, and to organize around constructive topics like this, right?
We already have those. We have plenty of those.
Yeah. And organize around these constructive topics, but there's a need for it in for example, software engineering. There's a need for it in, for data analysis. Anywhere in the tech, there's a need for it in tech. There's a need for it in so many.
Can you build a black version of Alibaba or something like that? You have the capability of doing that? You have this. I know you're going to need more than just software. You're going to need hardware. You're going to need servers like this, like that. It's going to be a big thing. Can you do something like that?
If I have the right team with me, yes. By myself, no.
You need capital. You need capital. Like that.
Yeah. I could build something. I could build something probably like by myself. I could probably build something like Craigslist. But like in terms of like something that's so wide spanning and so like scaled up, like
what
Alibaba.
I'm saying is, let's say you start with not just Africa, with China. It's all about the money flow, right?
Hey guys, I got other callers.
Okay. Even with China, it got stuff, and as long as we're making the money, we're part of the distribution. I don't care, China, Africa, whatever.
Right.
So that, but you got to have buyers and sellers. Where buyers could buy in bulk and stuff like that. You can do that, but you got to replace eBay and stuff like that.
There needs to be a black. There needs to be a black eBay, a black Alibaba in Africa. That would be like huge.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, but hey, Marcus, we appreciate you coming on, brother.
Thank you, Marcus, bro.
All right, thank you. All right, Black Line, go ahead.
Thank you for having me. Sorry, you guys. It was a good conversation. I like listening to you guys. It was very cool. It was very inspiring. But what Mr. Genesis was saying, I couldn't agree 1,000% more, because personally, I think like a week ago we had a conversation about Black America and everything. It's like I told Dynas, for me, my personal opinion, and what I've been seeing and been studying and researching, it's over. In my opinion, I think like Harriet Tubman did, just get the decent Black people you can find and just leave, and just build on a continent or a separate community, whatever. I don't care at this point. I just want to be around decent Black people who was ready to build, who's ready to get rid of that niggatry. Because the sad reality is, like, I agree with Mr. Collins said about to our community. Like I said, white racism is an issue, no doubt, but we don't have the maturity, the intellect, and the organization and the unity to at least tackle it. We don't have any of that. And the sad reality is, our community is too. I'll be very honest, very bluntly, we're very stupid and very dysfunctional to even want to admit our community has a problem. Because we don't
want to discuss it. Let me say this, brother. Every time I hear Black people talk about it, so they think
what happens whenever you try to discuss it? Oh well, the white people do it too. Man, they kill each other in Africa.
This is the thing. In New York City, right? African Black men of African descent, the Caribbean Black people, make up 90% of all homicide victims and 90% of all murder suspects. We're homicide. Black men are 6% of the U.S. population, but yet we're over 60% of all murder homicide victims. Are you gonna tell me that's not a problem?
Exactly. Exactly. And
it's not a problem, because white people kill each other too, Carla. The white man killed the other white man.
And so at this point in time, I am tired of hearing that. That right there is a so-called Jason Black. Jason Black has never talked about black crime and the violence and everything. All they want to do is talk about one incident, George Floyd, and all this kind of stuff. Even though Black police brutality and stuff like that is real and everything, but you can't talk about police brutality where in the same city, 8 Black people just got killed, gunned down the same day, and you want to talk about the one cop that got that killed somebody, right, in questionable circumstances, stuff like that. So.
The sad reality, you guys are 100% right on that. The sad truth is, if I was a politician, or at least a popular celebrity, since our community like to worship celebrities like they're damn deities, I would love to ask Black people from the hood, from the suburbs, whatever, what can we do to fix these Black issues? I would love to ask them that, because a lot of them don't. I ask them as African Americans these kind of questions from my school or anywhere where I meet them. A lot of them don't really know the answer, because a lot of them don't know they don't know the ancestral root as to the origin of all these issues coming upon.
Right.
They would blame white people. It's like, okay, let's say they are true, but what can we do to fix our community? Because I even sometimes put out there, our culture promotes this dysfunctionality.
Right.
Like, what does it? Will it take jobs? Will it take psychotherapy? Like, what are we willing to do?
White, it takes out a Black America, right, has this culture, right, rather than dealing with their situation in America.
Yes.
You know, which, like I said, we're victims, right, in many ways.
Yes.
When we see there's something retards our mentality. Think about this for a second. Listen for a second, right? When I was growing up, right, when I was in third grade, right, I was the first kid that when the Pledge of Allegiance came on, I was the first kid. I was in PS 86, Jamaica, Queens. I was the first kid that stood up for the Pledge of Allegiance, right? When some of the white kids wouldn't stand up fast enough, right? I was like, hey, you ain't standing fast enough for the flag, right? Like, you're 8 years old, you don't know any better, right?
Yes.
A year later, we moved upstate New York, with a predominantly white school in upstate New York, right? And I began to see when people looked at me like I was, I'm American flag. They looked at me like, you're not American, you're Black, you know? And that's when, and then I said to myself, no, I'm an American. So for years, I was basically saying, no, I'm an American just like you are, blah, 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 because I lived in a Black community and I was American, you know?
Yeah.
And when you live in a white area, you face racism, right? And they took offense that you were saluting their flag, right? So now those white people realize now how dangerous that is, right? White people now like trying to walk away from that because what did they try to keep us from? Becoming Americans, right?
Yes.
Now, Black people say in large numbers start saying, that's why I don't agree with this whole idea of compromise. I'm not compromised no more, right? I'm like this. If we basically build in Africa, right, and say our allegiance is building with Africa and everything, and also Africa has to reach out to us. They have to reach across the pond and everything, like they get serious about this, right?
Yes.
Because, you know, you can't keep coming over here. You're trying to be American. We're trying to get out of being American, and you're coming over here trying to be American. You know, so stuff like this. You know, so that's what it is. We're basically sick. Black people in America, right? We see all the stuff. Like we see 12 Years a Slave. That does something to you. You know, when you read about slavery, it does. You're like, yeah, that's me. That's my ancestors. And so the bottom line, you have no way of venting that. White people throughout history, right, in America, had a way how to do, like they struck when they thought Spain had sunk the Maine. What happened? The United States went to war. The will of the people are angry, right? Black people have no way of protecting their collective will because we don't have a government, we don't have a nation, we don't have an army, we don't have nuclear weapons, we don't have none of that stuff. So people don't have to deal with us. They don't have to take us seriously. We know no matter what they do to us and everything, we have to just sit back and take it. Oh, we'll spout off once in a while. We'll raise our fist, Black power, right? We'll go out there, trample on an American flag. We'll do all that stuff like that. But they know when the dust settles and everything, when Super Bowl comes on and whatnot, all they do is throw a football thing, and y'all back to doing the same thing. Yeah, the game's on, you know. I'm the game, you know. What's your team gonna do this year, you know? They know. You think I got a PhD in Negroology, right? The white man knows us. Yeah, you know, the white man knows us. He's like we like LeBron James. See, Trump was their great escape. We unleashed on Trump all of a sudden. Even we misrepresented what he was trying to do and everything. He was our escape. We were basically blaming him for everything, right? But we basically forgave America. It's not America. It's Trump. No, what we're facing is America, right? It's not America. If you want to say something, Trump is America. You know, Biden is America. You know, they are America.
No, that's true. That's very true. No, that's very true. I want to add to what you said. Like the sad reality is, a lot of us, especially in our community, like I said, like I said, we're not as intellectual and mature as we used to be. Because sometimes like we can't forget, like when like a lot of people forgot, like when Marcus Garvey, before the deportation, where he was sabotaged, I think him, Elijah Muhammad, and Malcolm X, they all went to go talk to Ku Klux Klan Grand Wizards, and literally in person, and literally discuss like a secret meeting with them and discuss them. How can we settle this racial issue in America? And then when he literally asked, I read this, I didn't know about it. Like he really asked him, what can we do? What can we like? Okay, we don't like each other. We want to integrate. What can we do? And when he got the answer from the Grand Wizard, saying, we don't want you Negroes here at all. We will kill you. And
that was good. That was just on. That's being on. And also,
exactly.
Right? You ever heard of the peace movement?
I heard about that.
Peace movement, right? Well, the lady that founded the peace movement, was an African American lady from Louisiana. She witnessed a light skinned lady. She witnessed a lynching of a prominent Black man in, I think, Baton Rouge. She witnessed as a girl, right? Yeah. And then from there, right, she began working with racist Senator Bilbo and said, "Look, we want basically the government to fund our passage to Liberia and build. And so basically, he said, you know something, we would rather have some of these white Northerners come down here and everything, do the work and replace Negroes, because long as the white planters and everybody depending on black labor, they're dreaming of having a white civilization, Mississippi, Georgia, everything like that.
Yes.
But then you got black people, right, who basically don't get it, right? They want to be part of this thing. You black people, I'm a proud Mississippian. When I see a black man playing for you, Miss, when I'm like, what the hell is going through your mind?
Exactly. I agree.
I don't understand. I'm not from the deep South, right? I don't understand the attachment to Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and black people are more proud of these states than I'm a proud Georgian. Are you kidding me, Negro?
If anything, it's funny you mentioned that, because the thing is, I like to also add to that. A lot of us kind of forget. A lot of us are like with Harriet Tubman when she left the Negroes behind the plantation. A lot of us in our community are literally our descendants of Africans who were too scared to fight back, and ones who stayed on the plantation and wait for white masters to free us. A lot of us don't realize that. And that
my ancestors were maroons, man. My ancestors, they say
exactly.
my DNA. I'm from the Dismal Swamp in Chesapeake, right? My ancestors were independent communities during slavery in the Dismal Swamp. Look up the Great Dismal Swamp history. That's where I come from. We raided slave plantations and whatnot and took what we want. Went back into the swamp. People, that history of maroon culture is not talked about in America, because black people weren't escaping to go to North. They were trying to get to these maroon communities. And the bottom line is, white people came back, they would kill them. And so like that.
Exactly.
So we don't know history.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna ask a question. When did we become Americans? Period. Like you got people putting American flags on. When did we become American? Why do we care about the U.S. border? Oh, they're taking over. When did this happen? When did this happen that we become Americans, period, and whatnot? I was watching this documentary, right? They said about American United Fruit Company, right? All the poverty you see in Honduras is from that one company, the United. They overthrew a progressive government. Pelosi, Clinton, and Obama installed a dictator in Honduras and whatnot, and stuff like that. So all the migrants you see, U.S. policy in America. Democrats and Republicans. So we voted in people that's oppressing people from Central America. Now, when they're coming over here saying we had enough, we're coming to America and everything, we want to get up to about, they can't come in here and everything. Black America is sick. They're no different than the Ku Klux Klan or anything else. We're sick.
We're the successors. We're leading their success. We became the same demon that we're trying to fight. And
we became the same monster
the reality.
that we're trying to fight. The ADOS FBA have become the same ugly monsters that we claim we're fighting. There's no difference between the ADOS FBA and the Ku Klux Klan. There's nothing. And the Pookies and Ray Rays that talk about death, destruction, it's all the same thing. The bottom line is we die. You know what I'm saying? We have division, self-hate, everything, and destruction, everything. And by people purportedly trying to do right by us and everything. That's what the case is. So I don't see no difference between the Pookies and Ray Rays, gangs, gang violence, the ADOS FBAs with their negativity and stuff like that, and the Ku Klux Klan. It's all the damn same.
Exactly. Everything's literally the same. White supremacy is just in blackface, in my opinion. That's all I see it as. Yeah. And the thing is, one thing I like about you, the thing is, you added to my point. Like you said, you came from a bloodline of Africans who are Maroons, so they passed that warrior mentality of resistance to your ancestry. Right. A lot of us, a lot of people in our community were given the coward house Negro mentality through culture, and a lot of us don't realize that. So it's like, yes. Your descendants are probably from slaves that Harriet Tubman and that Turner probably didn't want to get involved in, because your ancestors were, in a way, they were afraid, they were scared cowards. So this is something like, and the thing is, we pass on through generations. It's like, you see why the state that we're in, and the reality is, and since a lot of us don't at least have the guts, besides calling out white people, I even said, where I'm going to call out our community, can we at least call out the issues like this? I remember one time. There's one black man. He was a football player. He has two daughters. He called out the music video WAP from Megan Thee Stallion Cardi B. He went viral in less than a couple of hours saying, we don't need this disgusting shit in our community. I got 2 daughters. I don't want my daughter seeing black women this kind of light. And he was attacked so hard by niggas and hood rats.
Exactly.
Black man with his daughter, but he has 2 kids.
Well, black life, they'll say, how can you say Cardi B was talking to Joe Biden and whatnot. You can't
Mhm.
just spokesperson. Joe Biden went to her, and that's it.
Oh my God, I died.
Yeah. But hey, let me do this. Let me bring Abdul Kamara on. Hey, Black Lion, we appreciate you coming on, brother.
Okay, you guys, good luck, guys. Thank you.
I appreciate it, bro. Go ahead, Abdul. Yourself.
Hello, guys. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Fine, man. Yes, I hear what you guys were saying. There are certain things that I actually came to conclusion with when it comes to the United States. Um, for me, I feel like the United States, when they said the word, I call it American dream. The American dream, someone's actually said it before. You have to be asleep for you to see that dream. And for me, the reason why I'm sticking to that particular saying is because I live two life. I've lived in Africa when I was born until I was 14, and then when I came over here. So I'm sort of like the ones that they didn't have the chance to brainwash or groom the way they want to mold me, you know. So basically, what I have seen in Sierra Leone when I was growing up during the war is sort of like the same thing that is happening here in the United States, but people literally don't understand what's actually going on. When I was in Sierra Leone during the war, these were young kids that they were kidnapped and then they were drugged up. And when they were drugged up, some of them came to the city. And then I know a boy actually that we all went to school together that was actually kidnapped. He came home and killed his mom, his father, his sister, his whole family. You understand me? And then after the war, they captured them and then they put them, because they were young, they don't want to execute them. So they put them in sort of like a rehab for them to recollect what they did. And then this young boy actually realized after the drug have left his body, he literally went crazy. He went crazy. He lost his mind because he realized that he shot his whole family. He killed his whole family. So bring it back to the United States. What I'm seeing here with these young guys, the problem that we are facing is that we don't have a propaganda machine that is raising the alarm. I mean, we have some, but we are not strong enough to raise the alarm on these drugs that they are using to experiment on our kids. Because what is going on here, it is an experiment. When they call it the project, it's not for a reason. They call it a project. It is a project. It is a project. It's like they're experimenting on these young kids to see how far they can go when they are on the influence of these hardcore drugs. And I've seen this with my own eyes with the war in Sierra Leone. It was very bloody to the point they were cutting people limbs and everything. These guys didn't know what they were doing, all because they were under the influence of these hardcore drugs. So my take on this actually is for us to figure out a way to start creating propaganda machines, strong propaganda machines that can wake these kids up for them to realize, because the railway and the Pookies, they are far too gone. Those ones I don't think we can even will be able to save them. They're
Yeah, check
far
it out.
too
Another thing,
gone.
Amara, the Ray Rays and the Pookies are now on social media as FBA ADOS. That's the whole thing. Now they're on social media now, gang banging on black immigrants. So you went from banging on each other to trying to straighten yourself up at the age of 35, whatever. I can't do a street anymore, so let me bang
See,
on black immigrants. Let me bang
so
on black. So the Pookie and Ray Ray
basically that's
mentality.
what they have done. And these things that they have created is making us just pay attention here in the United States to the point we don't even understand who we are. The wealth that our grandfathers have left for us, I know because I went back in 2016 to Sierra Leone and I saw these white families. I'm talking about individual white families who are going to Sierra Leone and get minerals, and they are going there poor and they are coming back rich. And we over here just thinking, oh, America is the best, blah, blah, blah. But they actually getting their stuff from back home. And they are coming over here and they're becoming rich. And we're wondering how they're becoming so rich. Is because they know the worth of Africa. They know that that land, that soil has so much natural resources that the world depend on. And if our brothers don't, and brothers and sisters over here don't wake up and realize who they really are and what their grandfathers have left for them, the wealth that their grandfathers have left for them, and instead they're chasing over these shiny objects that they see over here, the cars, the clothes, and all these things. It don't make sense, because these are the same natural resources that they are, I call it, manufacturing, and then turn it to this shiny object that you're chasing. Why don't you cut the neck of the snake, which is the main source, and gets control of it? One example, in Liberia, this is the land that they actually gave to the African Americans who went back after slavery, who decided to go back home. In Liberia today, as I'm speaking to you, there's a company there called Firestone. I'm
Yeah,
sure a lot of people know Firestone.
We know all about
Yes.
Firestone.
Firestone produce most of the tires you see here in the United States that people are riding in their cars with. But Firestone has the largest rubber plantation in the world in Liberia, a land that belongs to the African Americans, and these guys are making billions and billions of dollars.
The thing is, though, brother. We, like I said, my whole thing. This is what I see about black people, Africans, and everything. Right? There's a lot of people that came forward and said, "Look, why don't we make rubber tires, everything?" And we're not the first to say this, right? But when it comes to when it comes to Africa and black people and everything, right? It all comes down to this. Unless a white man comes up and says, "This is what we can do." Now, white people can go to Liberia, and they had the El Anito project, right? A bunch of white guys got together and said, we can finesse this country out of this, built a Ponzi scheme, right? And they do it. They do it all the time now. But Africans are catching up. Africans are getting smarter, right? Unless a white man comes and says, something, we could build this and everything. A black man, another African comes and everything, unless he has built like a Dangote, unless he's like a Dangote or something like that with billions of dollars, right, to invest in everything, nobody will take him seriously, nobody will take him seriously. Nobody like this. Why? Because our race, we don't think 100 years from now. We don't think 20, 50 years. We don't think 20 years. We think about tomorrow. We don't think about tomorrow. We just think about, not only that we don't think about today, we're still worried about what happened yesterday and the year before. That's why we're always behind. He did this to me. He did this to me. We're not even thinking about what's in front of us today, let alone tomorrow, and let alone 100 years from now. And so because we don't have mastery over our own destiny, when you have mastery over your own destiny, you could chart those things out. And if something's not in that your plans and everything, you're like, but you cannot do that, right? If you are basically depending on other races for protection. Right now, the black race don't have any protection. Right now, people fish off the African coast and they get away with it. Why? Because we don't have the Coast Guard and everything. Liberia's Coast Guard just busted some people. I give Liberia one. They're trying. They got that spirit our ancestors left with. They're trying a little bit. But you go to other countries on the West African coast, and Gambia and everything, Chinese, North Koreans are taking their rich fishing ground. Why is the Nigerians got the richest fishing grounds in the world, but yet the Thai and everybody is selling fish back to the Nigerians? Because we don't know how to place a boat. Or when they do get caught, you just a nice little envelope of cash, right, will get you right through, cut the Coast Guard or whatever. So it's a mentality, and it's a mentality of lawlessness and chaos and everything, because we as black people all over the world, we only care about what the person looks like. Remember, what's that dude that was finessing people in Dubai, Dynast, Hush Puppy, whatever his name is?
Hush Puppy.
Now you don't see anybody, African American or Nigerian, coming out saying this is an abomination, right? All they know is he had a lot of money and everything, and the black man, that's what we care about, We don't care about how he got his money. Did he build something? Did he create something, everything? No, he was finessing people out of their money and everything. He had the good life and everything, and people like, yeah, man, well, he got his thing. And the justification is, just like we say, white people kill each other, right? White man's are all stealing all the wealth of the world and whatnot. So a black man do it, you want to get all bad, Colin. I said, this guy was finessing people, doing dishonesty. Well, white people are dishonest. So the bottom line is this: being next to white people, being in their world and everything, being in a world where you aren't being held accountable for your own people. You're born into a black nation, right? You do wrong. You go outside a nation and embarrass us, right? And you do something inside a nation, we're gonna deal with you. As long as that's the case, right? As long as black people know that white people will let you get away with anything, like so long as you don't step on their toes and everything, it's always going to be like this. When a leader in Africa, as long as he's basically satisfying what the IMF is talking about, as long as he talks about with the World Bank, NATO, and everything, as long as he gives all these international organizations the keys to his country to rob, rape, and pillage, he can do whatever he wants to do, and that's the truth. Same thing in Black America and everything. The black politician, right? The black politician, as long as he votes the way the establishment tells him to vote and everything, he's always going to be there. That's why that guy, what's his name, Marcel, did not have a friggin' a chance. He's up against like Kyber's a thing. Not that I agree with what Marcel was saying, but he didn't really have a chance. He should have known that. The bottom line, the democratic machine. This is black people are controlled all over the world.
Hey, Colin, let me bring on Jughead. Hey, Abdul. Hey, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yeah, have a good one, brother. You guys.
Okay, let's bring last caller, Jughead. Go ahead. All right, Jughead, go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, brother Color, brother Prince. Welcome from the UK, brother. I appreciate your broadcast. Welcome.
No problem. Thank you, bro. Go ahead. What you got for us?
Yeah. Thank you, but I'll keep it short. Regarding the comments that Color made earlier about Malcolm, he's correct because what we have here in the UK and the US is that we've not severed ties from the people because we focus much on integration and assimilation. That's a bad problem. They were afraid to cut ties with the Europeans. We should have done what Malcolm did. Fought ties with Africa and the Middle East and look abroad. That's why they killed him. Malcolm was serious because Malcolm said no, bring the US to World Court for charging for genocide, and he was getting contacts in Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, Ghana, Libya, Egypt. I thought this guy's too serious, and that person had no protection. He was killed because Malcolm was serious. Malcolm was serious. Malcolm was putting in work, because he was still looking internationally. That's their biggest fear. Blacks looking beyond Europe and America and looking for ourselves, looking for making our own allies. That's what they fear.
Yeah,
you see, because with our mindset, resources, we'll be, that's what they fear. So we're going to come in, Keller.
Well, the game's change is going to check us out. The game is going to be changed. Like I was talking to a brother today, with this open pure gold pit in Uganda. Right now, this is what I predict was going to happen. Now, we're smarter than our answers. We know more. Not smarter. We know more answers there. They play this game right away. Rwanda is going to be the major place where a lot of this gold should be processed because it already has a gold refinery. It will build more. Okay, but the international media and some idiots on social media has it out for Rwanda and Paul Kagame. Right? They're not thinking about. Like I said, black people. Not only do you don't think about tomorrow, the next day, 100 years now, you're still thinking about yesterday, the day before yesterday, yesteryear, and everything. That's how backwards we are. And so instead of saying, something, we got a chance to build Africa and everything. No, Kagame caused a lot of trouble in Eastern Congo and everything like that. Now, if Paul Kagame Rwanda was a failure, you think he'd be complaining about? No, because his country's looking good and everything, and he's doing international business. He could actually become a Singapore west of that part of Africa and everything. Right away, our mentality as a black race is let's burn, kill, loot. You got Rwandans and Congolese in there talking about we're going to bum rush the capital of Kigali and take over. And what we're going to do? Rape, pillage, destroy, and whatever the fuck they want to do. That's the mentality. Same mentality we have in Black America, right? We don't want to build gardens in our community. We don't want to paint up old buildings and stuff like that. We want to basically hang on the street. Riding the street. You see the new thing where people are jumping on cars now, riding on top of cars, doing all kinds of stupid shit and everything. This is Black America. This is the black race. Africa is not as bad, right? But in Black America, it is completely gone. Shooting up a mall. Saw a video the other day. Guys got into a fist fight. The guy got his backpack, pulls a gun out, and chased the guy inside of Northam's in Orlando, Florida. I'm saying to yourself, right? The bottom line is this, and the reason why this happened is because there's not enough people like me saying, no, hell no, we're not going to tolerate this. You're not with us. And I'm ready to cast this black trash to the side. Let the ADOS FBA people have these people, because that's all they're about. You know, let the ADOS FBA have these people, because that's what that's the mentality that produces ADOS FBA. You know, nigga shit. You don't want to take no responsibility for yourself. You don't want to do anything right. You want to blame, beg, give me this, give me this. It's somebody else's fault and everything, and not ourselves, because we don't love ourselves. We don't.
Color, you know what problem? Yeah. So, color, you know what it is, color? That's niggernomics. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's niggernomics. We've got to stop pressing powernomics, not niggernomics. You see, what is it, color, Prince Dynast? We don't really hold accountable to each other. That's the problem. That's why we run for nationhood. Nationhood means you look after each other and watch each other's backs.
We're not a nation. Black America is not a nation. We're basically a pseudo. You know the problem. We know what the official policy is of Black America, right? In Africa, the official policy of Black America is benign neglect and containment. As long as we can contain niggas to a certain area and everything, they know everything we do. They music, everything we listen to on the radio, sports, entertainment, they decide that, you know, and all the stuff like that. It's structured there. Okay, it's containment, right? That's why white people never don't care about these shootings and everything. They already know before they pick up the newspaper. They know the face of the assailant. They know the face of the victim. It's always going to be black people, you know. And in Africa, it's about population control, right? It's official policy of the U.S. government to this day, from Henry Kissinger's time, right? Is Africans got if you want foreign everything, you got to keep your populations down, you know. So this is what you have global. So these are these old crusty ass double white men, or basically, even the Obama administration. Obama didn't get in there and change some of the policy toward Africa. He kept sanctions on Mugabe, which was racist, you know. So the bottom line is this: you have a Democrat administration, Obama, a black man, right, kept the same policies in Central America, the same racist policies in Africa, you know, and you wonder why, you know, the situation is where it is right now.
Yeah, but color, I'll give sorry, color. I mean, Africa will take some blame too. Because like African leadership is cowardly. I'll give an example. Look at when Gaddafi got power in '69 and removed the King Idris. What did he do? He nationalized industry. He empowered his people. Nigeria can do the same. Nigeria, look, my family's from Nigeria. Nigeria should be superpower by now. Why is Nigeria poor? Because cowardly misleadership.
I thought Nigeria was going to be a superpower back in the '90s. I really believed that. I was wrong. You know,
we still hope, but we should be ready. Yeah, we still can do it. But why isn't that way now? Because of cowardly misleadership. You see, so look at great leaders in the past, other countries. Ben Bella of Algeria, Mohammed Mossadegh of Iran. Chavez, where's our people that look at? Where's our people? You know, apparently people with the resources. You know, so you know, look at us. We're playing Europeans, but our leadership starts at home. The cowardly misleadership that's going to be removed. They're the impediment to our progress. Color and Dynast. Cowardly misleadership, retarded misleadership. They're retarded. They're not human.
The black race,
they're not human.
The black man in the world, right, has to stand up, right? And no black man wants to stand up because no black man. Well, I give Idi Amin one thing. At least Idi Amin was no coward, you know? Say what you want about Idi Amin. He was no coward, you know? He stood up to the British and all these other Western countries and everything. He was no coward. You know, he was wrong on a lot of shit, you know? He made a lot of mistakes, but he was no coward anymore, like, you know? And so they don't like leaders like they don't like
so, we've had a few, but we don't protect them. We're like Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, they're under protection. The Thomas Sankara, Lumumba, we've had more than a few, the Biko, but we don't protect them. That has the problem. We don't put a shield around them.
We forgot about
so
South
Africa.
And after this, we're going to close out. But go ahead, colleague. Respond.
South Africa basically forgot about Stephen Biko and all these other people like that. Because why? Because they're basically shopping in the same mall with whites and everything. They're surfing on the same beaches and eating mush sharks, you know, and everything like that. And so bottom line is, like I said, let me tell you something. All you revolutionaries out there, listen to this and listen to it carefully. You only got a short window to make your case and make something happen, right? Because when it's over with, people are going to be like, you know something, man? They don't want to hear you no more. Oh, man, you said that. You came around and you become so hated because you failed. And the people are like, yeah, you know, like, after like Mussolini was overthrown, right? How many people said they were fashionable? No, I was never a fascist. No, I was never a Nazi. I was never none of that, you know. Black America, the reason why black liberation always fails is because we don't even plan to win, you know. If our end game is inside the borders of America and building that, you're going to fail, right? But one thing they don't have power over is our desire to build with our motherland and build in Africa. That's something they don't have control over, and they do this by making us hate Africa, making us think we're different, and all stuff like that. And Africa is building with Africa and building a strong alliance with Africa is the key to our liberation. Anything other than
Jackie, I appreciate you coming on, brother. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. So best of love. Take care.
Yeah,
you too, brother. Okay. All right, Colin, we're gonna go ahead and close out, brother. Anything else you'd like to share in closing?
Get my book on Amazon, Journey to the Promised Land, you know, Voyage of the Bark of Zor. You know, if you want to know some history like that, you'll lose yourself in this book. I got it on Blue Ink Review, right? Blue Ink Review. I paid for that review, right, myself. And I got 4 stars on it, you know. People like the book. They're like really good. It's about the history of the Exodus of 1878 from Charleston, South Carolina to Liberia, right? And it was and so this myth that the United States financed black people. Going to know black people financing themselves in this story. It's a true story, and I fictionalized it, gave it characters and everything. And got people that want to make it into a movie, but like I said, you know, it's hard with all these digital things. You would think it'd be made by now, right? But you know, people want Pookie and Ray Ray, the next Pookie and Ray Ray story on Hulu and or Disney Plus, whatever like that, and all these other things. But anything dealing with our history and that's something that's going to edify us, we don't want nothing to do with it. So miss me on this idea that we got to talk about the Proud Boys and the Ku Klux Klans and everything like that, where we got people putting negativity and destruction in black minds, bodies, and souls, poison 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and everything. We have to deal with the enemy within, right? You can't deal with the enemy without until you deal with the enemy within. The enemy within want to destroy us, want to unite us from our African roots and content. And the bottom line is we have to fight the enemy within before we could talk about the enemy without. And that's College Genesis.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. Also, if you want to roll with us in Nigeria, Sierra Leone, visit Danfo, DANFO.Africa. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. Peace.
All right.